Hello, I'm Moira Bruin from Essex County Fire and Rescue Service, and today I'm going to read The Wolf Was Not Sleeping by Avril McDonald. Deep in the forest one dark winter's night, in a small cosy bed by the firefly's light, a wolf lay awake. His loud beating heart was thumping in fear that the howling might start. Tick-tock went the clock. Twit-twoo called the owl as he prayed to the moon that the wolves wouldn't howl. But the forest stayed quiet, and the first morning light, "Phew," Wolfgang said, everything was all right. Each night was the same. His loud beating heart would be thumping in fear that the howling might start. And if it was all quiet by first morning light, "Phew," he would say, everything was all right. But this peace wouldn't last, and that worried him so, for when the wolves howled, his dad had to go. His dad was a helper. When they called, he would run. No matter where, when or how, he'd be helping someone. A forest of creatures can't always be calm. Sometimes there's trouble, or danger, or harm. And if there was trouble, the wolves let them know, and their howling would summon the helpers to go. Wolfgang imagined such terrible things, like fire-breathing dragons with large scaly wings, monsters in caves, scary trolls and the like, giant trees falling down from a great lightning strike. He imagined wild beasts that were fierce and unkind, and he could not get those pictures out of his mind, and the thought of it all made his legs feel like jelly, and his stomach was turning like worms in his belly. So he lay awake, worried, each night in his bed, and was falling asleep in the daytime instead. Now, this was a problem when friends came to play, for playdates most often are during the day. And when Wolfgang was it, or his turn came around, he was fast asleep somewhere and not to be found. Snoring away he'd lie, curled in a heap, in a game one could only call hide and go sleep. He was struggling to think straight. He slept during school. When Owl asked him questions, he felt like a fool. And anxious and scared after school he would creep back home, where he dreaded when time came for sleep. But tonight would be different. He hadn't a clue what a spider, some pens, and some magic could do. Spider knew he was frightened, so he did something kind. She scribbled a note for Big Dad Wolf to find. "We might have a problem. We think we should hide, but a problem won't go if it's locked up inside." Now his dad understood, so that night before bed, he sat down with Wolfgang, and here's what he said. "I know you feel scared when the wolves start to call, but I'm safe and you don't have to worry at all. I run with a team. We're like birds of a feather. We're a family. We're stronger when we stick together. There's Nala, whose feathers are perfectly styled. She's in charge of the team who take calls from the wild. Goose is our joker and Rookie is new. Then there's Smash, well, there's nothing that he can't break through. There's Crazy Pants, Hollywood, Lazy and Slick, and Speedy the cat, and she's so nimble and quick. And then there's Dave, who is slow but incredibly kind. He can calm creatures down just by using his mind. We all run together, and we're never alone. Each one of us makes sure the others get home. There are times when we're scared, but together we're brave. We feel pride in our hearts for all the creatures we save. We try hard, but sometimes a creature might die. And this makes us feel sad, so we talk, hug, and cry. A lot of the time, though, the problems are small, like when dragons are not safely sneezing at all. The wolves, when they howl, tell the world that we care, and that if anyone needs us, they know we'll be there. So the next time they howl and I run to the door, you need not be worried like you were before. Wolfgang just loved that he now knew the team. He'd learned things aren't always as bad as they seem. Then he asked Big Dad Wolf, "Now I know all the crew, but what does the name that the others call you?" "It's Bear," Dad replied, "because I love a big hug." And then he gave one to Wolfgang, who felt warm and snug. "Good night, Dad," said Wolfgang as he lay down his head. "Good night, my brave wolf. Sweet dreams," Dad Wolf said. And now across town, if you look hard, you'll see the same team on a wall, in a room, up a tree, in a bedroom close by with trinkets galore and 120 stuffed mice to adore, above 3 little beds in a room with a view, on a wall beside twins down on Bird Avenue. And in a small bed by the firefly's light, Wolfgang sleeps soundly now, all through the night. And if you were to ask him his favourite dream, he'd say, running with heroes beside Bear on the team.